Okay, we're coming towards the end, and we'll have a look at the public opinion of World War One at the time and afterwards. Now, as you are probably well aware, World War One was one of the most devastating and deadly wars ever to exist. It was named at the time the Great War. World War One would have been silly, as there was not a World War Two to compare it with at the time. So it's called the Great War, and also the War to End All Wars, which is another misnomer because there have been about 127 wars since then. However, they thought the scale and the devastation of it was going to be so vital into post-war thinking that because of all this horror, people couldn't consider another war. In hindsight, we know that they were dead wrong, if you excuse the pun. But at the time, they truly believed that nobody would ever want to revisit those horrors ever again. Having said that, the Germans, in British public opinion, were vilified. They were hated. If you imagine, every village was losing or had lost some of its population, its young men, and pretty much everybody in the country would have known somebody, if not been related to somebody, who died or certainly was injured in that war. So feelings were running high against Germany, especially as Britain blamed Germany over all other countries for causing the war with their militarism, their nationalism, their imperialism, the naval race, and generally their willingness for a war. That may not have been the case, but it was definitely what people thought, and calls for hang the Kaiser and make Germany pay after World War One, as the leaders were making their way over to the Treaty of Versailles, ring loudly in the historians' ears. So that gives you context as to where the British were as they went over to sign this peace treaty and to deal with Germany, bearing in mind that they had been fed propaganda as well to make them think how terrible the Germans were. One is lingering in my imagination with a German nurse pouring away some water from a wounded British soldier, and it says, the caption underneath, "No British nurse would ever do this. No British woman will ever forget this." Stirring stuff, but it struck a chord because it was constant, it was propaganda. Now, that is the penultimate section. We have one more section, and I will see you at the other side of this clip. At this clip.